As Caleb says, hey y'all, it's another Two Fish Cyber Tuesday, and I'm actually here with my wife. She's obviously way prettier and the better half of the marriage for sure, but she's also a dental hygienist. And so on today's live stream, we're actually wanting to talk about her expertise and experience in the dental field and kind of what the difference between maybe Two Fish would be versus another IT firm and stuff like that. So our 20-year-old daughter is watching the baby next door so that we could do this. So thanks to Caitlin for babysitting for a little bit. I think sometimes Abigail might prefer Caitlin over us sometimes, but anyway, yeah. So this is Jamie, my wife, and Jamie, I'm just going to let you kind of talk a little bit about your experience, not just as a hygienist, but just as a mom or whatever you want to talk about there real quick, and then we'll watch a video, and then we'll get into Two Fish.
Wait, so I have been a hygienist for 15 years now. I graduated from Amarillo College, worked in pediatrics for 9 years, and then once our family got busier with, at that time, 5 kids, moved to part-time at a general office. And so I guess, as you can probably imagine, we've seen a few people come in and out, especially being somewhere over a span of 9 years. Yeah, so as far as from dental hygiene standpoint, you want me to go ahead and talk about IT, or you want me to talk more about dental?
Yeah, we can talk about both. This is mostly geared toward dental offices this week at least. So just talk a little bit about your experience, and then maybe talk about the difference between Two Fish and the previous IT provider when I swept you off your feet.
Right. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm glad you agreed to that, by the way.
So most honestly, until I am a little biased, but I'm not completely biased, because I will say I'm pretty honest. So most of the IT professionals that I have experience with working in dental were good enough to get their feet wet, but when it came to like big problems, it wasn't as easy for them to fix things. Or let's just be honest, a lot of IT people aren't social. They don't have very friendly personalities, and they'd rather you not talk to them. And so you never really kind of knew what was going on or what to expect, or weren't communicated with well. And so the difference, I think, with Two Fish coming in is that you are very social. Very social. I always tell people, if they don't know Josh, I don't know how, because after working at the bank and being a pastor, and just even from being from Perryton, we don't go anywhere that we don't see somebody we know, or someone knows you or recognizes you, or whatever. And so that was a big deal, to be able to have conversations and know what's going on, and not, not just sitting there tapping our fingers wondering, when is something going to be done? Do they even know what they're doing?
So let's actually touch on the do they know what they're doing part. So I think, and we've talked at length about this, but I think one of the things that sets Two Fish apart, and you spoke about this even at lunch today, we know more about each office that we help service and their specific needs, not just dental in general or just IT in general. So talk a little bit more about kind of that experience too, and why it's important.
Yeah. So from a healthcare professional standpoint, I was thinking about this actually also as driving over. So 99% of people, when you're picking a provider or a doctor, or I mean, it could be anything, most of the time, the people that you choose, you're going to feel confident, comfortable, and taken care of. Like, you wouldn't go to a doctor who you felt like just dismissed you and just wanted to, like, put you on a pill and send you out the door. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's the same thing with IT services. The big difference is that with Two Fish, you come in and, create a relationship and get a feel for the specific needs of each and every customer. We don't blanket anything. And I think that's so important, because then a customer feels cared about, they feel confident, and they feel taken care of. They don't feel like you just, rush in, make them a quick estimate, hurry, sign the line, let's get started. Like, it doesn't, from the conception of those relationships, it's not ever just about, hurrying people through the process.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and that is kind of what's really important to us, is making sure that we listen to our users and talk to them about their needs. And then I think one of the big things for me was when I first started Two Fish, Jamie was at a dental office that she took the time, and even the doctor even took a little bit of time to show me just like how the office flowed, and taught me about how a dental office works in general, because I typically tried to avoid dentists until I met you. Not that I did, but
It had been a while.
The smile on your face says it all, right? But I tried to avoid dental offices in general, so I didn't really have a good understanding of like what was important to a doctor, or what how the office flowed, or even how the office, like, where they made their money the most and things like that, and kind of the ancillary things that they would do too. And so I got a crash course from Jamie and from the doctor on just how, like, everything from the unit, which is like the cabinetry and the air and the water and all that stuff, all the way down to the IT needs, like the sensors, and I learned all the lingo, right? So intraoral sensors versus panos and CTs and all that other stuff, right? So I got that crash course, one from you and from the doctor as well, and it was super helpful, just to be able to know what questions to ask on the next dental office that we had. And fortunately, we've had several since then, and so we kind of know what to ask and what to look for. What are some kind of, because you've worked for multiple doctors, and we talked about that a little bit, what are some of the caveats between offices that maybe some doctors are different, or practices are different, or whatever?
So there's different specialties. Doctors can specialize in different things. But not only do the practices differ, each doctor, even within a practice, is different.
Yes.
And so, being able to discern and look for individual needs, software needs, because different specialties use different dental softwares. Every office may use different sensors, so there's sensor software. There's a lot of components to it, so it's you can't be a one size fits all at all.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've seen just in the past from other places that we've taken over from other IT providers, even there's a lot out there that try to grab dental offices specifically, mm-hmm. and they try to just add the same cookie cutter thing for every dental office. And even that doesn't work, because, like Jamie, like you were saying, like the doctors have their preferences, just like assistants and, hygienists have to learn how the doctor operates. And then, just the differences between how the units are set up, or how the rooms are set up, or any of that kind of stuff. And it's important for I think the IT provider in general to be able to know what's going on, understand the workflow a little bit better, and then know what best fits in that specific office, and even in the specific unit for the specific doctor, which is also something that we do care about quite a bit. So sure. No, that's great. So I do want to say ask you one more thing. So and we'll get into this in a minute after we show this video, but Jamie, you've been there since the beginning when I started Two Fish in 2018, which, by the way, I don't even think I told Caleb this. Caleb was sitting back and back with Dave. Today, I'm pretty sure is Two Fish's 7th birthday. So yeah, kind of cool. So yeah, pretty exciting. I just was walking down the stairs and earlier and looked at my calendar. It's like, oh wait, I think that's today. So pretty sure today is Two Fish's 7th birthday. But
It's wild.
I know it's been a wild ride for sure. But yeah, the things I think, and we'll get into this, but what do you think specifically for dental offices, because that's where we're kind of gearing this video toward, what sets Two Fish apart in your opinion, because you have experience working for several, like 2 different dental offices, for instance, that we've been taking care of and we still do. What in your mind was kind of the key things that set Two Fish apart from the other IT providers?
So one, you've always been conscious about when I had a patient or if there's a patient in the op, because we only have, an allotted time, and that time is dedicated to the patient. So I could be working and doing what I needed to do, taking care of my patient, while you or any one of the Two Fish team was handling the issue in the office that we had. So I didn't have to worry about it. If something wasn't working, I knew that it either would be working soon or that it would be communicated quickly, a timeline on when something would be working. So
Yeah,
that was a big deal to me. I didn't have to worry about it, and then I wasn't having to interrupt my time with my patient to stop what I was doing to go handle something or answer questions, because you already knew what all needed to happen because you were already familiar with the systems.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, I think that's a great point. We try to coordinate with the front desk around the schedule, and I mean, we even know how to read the schedule on all of the dental softwares now, and so we'll have the office manager like email us a screenshot of the schedule for that day even, and we're able to pick times where we can slide in, and we know like, oh, this is going to take 5 or 10 minutes to handle the issue, and so we email or text back and say, hey, we're going to slide in at this time in this op, for instance. So yeah, that's a great point.
I do want to point out, if a schedule is sent, it doesn't have the patient's names on there.
No, no, absolutely not.
It's just the blank of the schedule. I feel like that's important to say, because that's a HIPAA violation. But no, we don't. We're not shared or communicating with anything like that. I feel like, sorry.
Can you guys tell who holds me accountable all day long?
We don't do that. Yeah.
That's funny. No, that's a great point. But no, we absolutely don't send HIPAA.
No, there's ways you can turn off patient information on the schedule. But yes, we know we work around the schedule for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, all right. So Dave's got a testimonial video queued up for us. We tried to show it a couple weeks ago, but it cut off because YouTube stuff. But so we're gonna throw it in the middle of this one right now. So Dave's going to do that, and then we're going to transition our conversation a little bit to just talk about Two Fish specific stuff. While Dave frantically clicks.
Hi, my name is Eddie Sauer. I am one of the owners here at Shimon Dental Group with Nathaniel Averett. I've been practicing for 37 years, and I would say that the thing that kind of sets us apart a little bit is we do everything high-tech that we possibly can, from making crowns in a day to placing implants to all of these other things. And the thing about it is the amount of computer needs are just phenomenal. And so whenever I first started practicing, we had one little bitty computer up front to help with counting, and now then we've got over 30 computers, and they're all tied together. And we went through a period of time when we couldn't get things to work. Our network was going down all the time, our servers weren't connecting the way that they were supposed to, and Josh and Two Fish came in and they cleaned everything up. They set everything up well so that we're completely covered in our network in the office, because almost everything is wireless from when we scan to make a crown to when it goes to the milling units, or whenever we need to take a 3D x-ray so that we can plan for implants and those kind of things. And they just made things seamless and made them real easy. One of the other things that probably is even more important on our part of that is we can get a hold of them at a moment's notice, because you never know when something's going to go down. They pop right into the system and they've gotten us up and running, and we've been able to run seamlessly for the past 5 years. We've been with them since 2019, and I would tell you that it's one of the best relationships that we have on a business aspect in our practice, and we're just grateful to be able to do business with them.
All right. So yeah, that was one of our dental clients that thankfully agreed to talk about them and us, which is cool. So so I'm going to transition the conversation a little bit. We were talking off camera while it was playing. I am not as good of an interviewer as Caleb, but we're getting through it. So I'm glad you're on your toes more than me today. But so I want to transition our conversation a little bit. Like I said earlier, you've been with me and with Two Fish since the very beginning. I've kind of seen the the good, the bad, and the ugly, of starting a small business and all of that stuff, and been my support and all of that. So yeah, what I do want to, and Jamie, you do a better job of, I think, articulating why Two Fish is different than even I do, or Robert or anybody else, honestly. So I want to give you a chance to kind of do that. But first I want to tell everybody, or I want you to tell everybody what you do for us, because a lot of people that watch are our customers. And so go ahead and explain kind of what you do for Two Fish. Keep it under 20 minutes, please. I'm teasing. Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking, do I have an actual official job title?
The actual boss, I think.
Right.
Maybe.
So I do all of the invoicing, behind the scenes, accounts receivable, all the fun stuff that you don't go to hygiene school for. I help manage your schedule or tech schedules, help watch the help desk, really just fill in the gaps where I see a need. If I anticipate a need, I can step in and help or answer questions for any of our team or for you, or sometimes I'm not techie, right? But even with some customers, I listen to, your conversations with people, where I'll ask you guys questions so that when we get a call, if there's something that's pretty simple that I can answer to the best of my ability, I don't sound completely incompetent.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. She I always tell everybody she's the engine in the car. So she's the one that keeps us moving forward. So yeah, so Jamie's very important to what we do. And I would totally be in a world of hurt if I didn't have her. So I'm earning brownie points today. So yeah, and then like I said, you do a really good job of articulating what makes Two Fish special and different, not just for again, not just for dental clients, but for everybody. So what are a few of the things that you think really kind of set us apart, just in business in general?
So the main thing to me is that you've set the bar high with the expectation, like we always just want to do the right thing. Like because a lot of times the right thing is not the easy thing. It would be a lot easier to be like, oh, just dismiss this person, or
Yes.
whatever. But you're not afraid to have the hard conversations with people. You're gonna do what's right, and our whole team, I can speak confidently about everybody, want to do the right thing. And to me, that just goes above and beyond, especially building trust and we want to build a relationship with our customers. We want to be involved in our community. And so a big part of that is earning people's trust and knowing what do they do? Why did that person decide to start this business? You know, what things do they care about like we care about? It's not just go in, you know, sell a service, you know, grab your money and leave. Like it's an investment in a relationship, and that is important to us also.
Yeah, I think when I first started Two Fish, I used to take people to breakfast because I love breakfast food. I don't know if anybody else does, but I love breakfast food. So I would always invite people to go grab breakfast with me and just ask their story. And we still do that. It's a little more informal now, but yeah, I think everybody, every business owner, every business has a story, and those stories are always really cool and important. Yeah, and it does affect kind of what or how we you know, how we interact with that other business owner or those customers.
Completely.
You know, because there is a story behind the invoice, right? And there's a story behind the ticket, and you know, we do things like pray with our customers and know their kids' names and their dogs' names and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, Jamie does a better job of keeping up with that than I do sometimes. And I don't know, Jason does the same thing, Robert and Dave and just the whole team, Caleb. Like we really do care about our customers, and we care about you know, what we have going on, so and what they have going on. So we talked about I think one of our big company culture things is integrity, and you had some really good points at lunch, so I want you to kind of regurgitate some of that.
Yeah. So again, I think we have that bar set high, starting with you, because that's where it has to start, is having integrity. Like I said, doing the right thing. We're still human. While I can confidently say that we don't make mistakes very often, because you guys are very talented and you are very smart and you're very good at what you do. We're human. We've made mistakes before. There's been something that comes up, but the thing that stands out to me, and then not just in business, but me personally, that I value, is that I can respect anybody if they make a mistake and they just own it and they're like, hey, I'm sorry, let me make this right for you, versus having an excuse or denying it or trying to blame shift something. And I feel like our team as a whole, we do a good job of that. And I could confidently say or send any of our customers who have had that kind of experience to testify to that, and I'm confident that they would be in agreement with me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we didn't retain our customers for a really long time. We've only lost just a handful, and almost every time it's, you know, they hired an internal guy or they were bought out by you know, a bigger corporation or whatever, and they just didn't need third party, you know, IT. And so yeah, I think it's a very big deal, and yeah, it's extremely important to all of us, and in our marriage, and in our ministry, and just internally, and in Two Fish as well. So yeah, those are all really good points, and I think kind of bring it home here. I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna let you give your elevator pitch for Two Fish. So because we have to do it all the time, right? People ask, what do you do, or whatever, and you have the better elevator pitch, I think, for Two Fish also. So we'll close it out with that, and then we'll get out of here.
Elevator.
I can hear Abby through the wall, by the way, which is great. So perfect timing.
So our goal is to help meet needs that your business has, with all their technical, security, all the things that you don't want to deal with. Our job is to meet those needs so that you can do what you're passionate about better, and you don't have to worry about all this other stuff.
Yeah.
We do this good so you can do your stuff good.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, I think it's a great way to end it. And yeah, so now you guys can be totally jealous that my wife is awesome, and very proud of her, and very proud of the company that we built, and yeah, we look forward and hope we get the opportunity to work with everybody who sees this. I guess we'll end it there. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, and we'll have the real MC back and have Caleb back on the interviewer side, so that things go a little bit smoother. But it was good. So thanks for doing it.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you too.